We have all been there. You're trying to impress someone, make a good first impression, someone you fancy, it doesn't matter. We've all done it. Said something horribly embarrassing and regretted it for days, weeks, months, maybe even years after the fact. However, no matter what situation you've put yourself in with your own stupidity, I promise you it won't be as bad as some of these Redditors. I asked the people of Reddit, what is the most embarrassing thing you've ever said to someone you're trying to impress? And these are the best answers. I kissed a girl for the first time when I was 13. Something prompted me to say average, and she loathed me for the rest of the academic year. Cut to 6 years later, I matched with her on Bumble. We met, we sexted, and she looked me dead in the eye and said, average. She is my best friend now. I mean, at least it's a good ending, but that period, that moment where she looks in your eyes and just, maybe even know what she's going to say before she says it. That is pain. When my dad was a kid, he tried to impress an older lady. She had asked him what he was studying, and he confidently told her Latin. She seemed really impressed by this, so she asked him to speak a bit of Latin to her. He knew one word and then created a bunch of other words around it that sounded Latin-ish. She frowned and told him it was a bad thing to lie. Her job? Latin teacher. Oh God. One day, I went to my boss's chamber and saw his arm in a cast. I wanted to say something sympathetic and score some brownie points, but what I said was, "Sir, your arm is broken." He looked at me and said, "I know." That's a tough one. You want to say something nice and be kind and sympathetic, but yeah, you just literally stating the obvious. I've been there. I did once, truthfully, tell a girl from Austria that I didn't know what the capital of Austria was, which wouldn't be too embarrassing, except that I was wearing a t-shirt which said Vienna rocks on it at the time. She thought I was joking. What about when you bought the shirt? I mean, maybe it didn't cross your mind, who knows? I told a musician I liked a specific song. It was not his song. Oh, that is the most cringy one so far. My university boyfriend invited me to meet his friends at a house party. His friends were known to be quite judgmental and historically not nice to their friends' girlfriends. I was so nervous on the way in the car, so my boyfriend kept telling me to just try and spend some time with a guy called Johan, who was the nicest one of the bunch. As we pulled up, one of the friends came out to the car and my boyfriend said, "That's Johan, talk to him." I got out, extended my hand and said, "Hi, I'm Johan." There was no way to recover from that. I mean, imagine if Johan replied, "Oh wow, that's crazy, I'm Johan too." Then it would have been even more awkward, and you might have had to keep up the facade of being called Johan for the rest of your time being in a relationship with this person and his mate Johan. First girlfriend, 6th grade, went to the movies. Wanted to hold her hand. Terrified, wasn't sure what to do. Started giving her a sales pitch on how awesome my hands were. That's not a bit creepy. They're really good at holding stuff, like boxes, or jugs. God. Was truly thinking of milk jugs, God knows why, but accidentally suggested I could just hold her boobs. It's been more than 20 years and I still think about it regularly. That's what I'm saying in the intro. Sometimes you say stupid things and they stick with you for 20 years. That is absolutely unbelievable. Trying to lie about my age. Her. You're too young. How old are you? Me. I'm like 20 or 21 I am. As the sentence left my mouth, I realized how ridiculous I just sounded. For clarification, I was 17 and absolutely hammered at the time. Fair play? It's not an embarrassing thing, I said, but when I was first dating my now wife, I set fire to the restaurant. Okay, that's just gone up a level. Set fire to the restaurant, and some random guy at the table next to me put it out. So I bought him a drink to say thanks, and spilled it on his date. Wanted to die. I mean, is that not kind of an example of you can have the worst first date possible, but if you're a decent bloke anyway, or a decent person, you can still get the girl, you know, first dating your now wife. There you go. I once attempted to impress someone with my extensive knowledge of ancient civilizations, but I accidentally referred to the Aztecs as the avocados. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that in my opinion. You don't know the famous avocado civilization? You know, the vegans? Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. I was on an airplane years ago with my girlfriend and her parents. My girlfriend couldn't get a seat next to me and sat directly behind me. During the flight, I thought I'd surprise her and I reached my hand back onto her knee. Slowly, I kept extending it up her thigh until I heard giggling. I looked behind through the seats and I saw that my hand was on the leg of the guy next to her. He saw my face and said, "I just wanted to see how far you'd go." Of course, my girlfriend was in on it and started laughing along with the rest of the row. Was so embarrassed. I'm not surprised. I mean, hey, my question is, Why'd you stop? I didn't say anything embarrassing, but I liked this Mexican girl in 9th grade, and I wanted to ask her out in Spanish. Oh, let me have a little go. ¿Quieres salir conmigo? I don't know what the word for date is. ¿Quieres beber conmigo? Y es solo nosotros? I don't know. All right, anyway, so I had a friend teach me what to say. Teach me as well, please. Which was nice and romantic of me, but the time in which the courage finally hit was the embarrassing part. I hurt myself for an hour and finally decided to ask her during a silent reading time in class. That's an awful time, but nonetheless. Not sure why that was when I thought I'd do it. Yeah, I agree. Just walked up to her desk and I asked her, and she just kind of awkwardly giggled, and everyone was staring at me, wondering how the frick I knew Spanish. Courage depleted, and I walked back to my desk. That really hasn't gone as well as either I was hoping, or I guess you hoped at the time. You did end up going out for a few days, but the only way you communicated was through, what? Sorry, it's got even worse. You ended up sort of going out for a few days, but the only way you communicated was through Google Translate on our phones. It was pretty freaking stupid, but a lot of high school relationships are. Yeah. Sorry, did you say that you like this Mexican girl in 9th grade? Did she not speak English? Or did she just think, oh, this person must be fluent in Spanish because they asked me out in Spanish, therefore I'm going to continue speaking in Spanish through Google Translate? Yeah, this epitomizes high school relationships. We sat around a campfire at a festival with a few friends and some random women that had joined us. Everyone was drinking, talking, and having a good time. That's what I like to hear, by the way. One of the women got up and said to her friends, I want to go and grab something from the tent. You coming? One friend replied, nah, I'm gonna stay here and get absolutely mashed up. But my drunken stupid ass took it wrong, and I blurted out, I'll F you. Just for some clarification, the person before said, I'm gonna stay here and get effed, as in get drunk. That, though, is unbelievable. She looks a bit shocked and goes, that's not really what I meant, but thanks. I guess she meant get effed up on booze, and I still cringe about it almost 30 years later. That is a new record, and I'm not surprised. I had a crush on the receptionist of my college's gym. One night, when I was the last one in there, I got nervous making small talk, and I offered to help her clean up before she closed the gym. And I immediately thought to myself, wow, you sound like a freaking serial killer. Yeah, that is a little bit creepy. But she actually got the vacuum out for me and proceeded to talk about her boyfriend. It's a head in hands moment for me. That is a head in hands moment. I would have rather her said to my face, no, you're a creep, get out, than that. That is disgraceful. Because not only do you now know you have absolutely no chance, you're now vacuuming a gym, which you're not paid to do. Unbelievable. At the end of the day, not mad, since I did something nice for someone. Yeah, all right, that's a definition of a simp, mate. I'd be fuming. Your eyes are like mushroom. That is what someone has said. She laughed so hard that we dated for 7 years. This is what I'm saying. Is this not the way forward? Is this what I'm doing wrong? Trying to be too cool? Okay, that's definitely what I'm doing wrong. That right there is what I'm doing wrong. At one meeting, I tried to utter a pickup line, but it ended up sounding like a malfunctioning robot. Do you have Wi-Fi? Because I feel a strong connection. Yeah, but you've planned that. I'm sorry, that is just absolutely cringe. That's your own fault. That's not even like you've delivered the line perfectly, and it's just absolutely fucking awful. I didn't say anything, but when I get nervous, I tend to burp a tiny bit uncontrollably. I burped in my manager's face. Maybe a manager enjoyed it. Have you ever asked them? No. Do it now. Not trying to date someone, but my first job interview. I got a question that was, describe yourself in 3 words. My butt literally said lazy, somehow still got the job. Now, I wouldn't recommend ever calling yourself lazy in a job interview. However, some people do say that hiring lazy people is actually quite a good thing to do because they will find the most efficient solution to a problem or just any task. They'll do something as quickly as they can, but as well as they can as well, hopefully. And yeah, you'll save company time. I don't know if that's legit or not, but it sounds good to me as a lazy person myself. I'm crushing on you so hard, I think it could be considered abuse. Then surprised Pikachu faced when she didn't think it was charming. Man, 19-year-old me was cringe. Man, 19-year-old you should have been put in jail. Not even because of the assault banter, just for that unbelievably terrible line. I met a girl and went to dinner at a cafe. During the conversation, a bet arose, and I said that I could eat everything on the menu of the establishment. Half an hour later, I destroyed the toilet. She successfully escaped, but I won the bet. Who's the real winner? That's right, not the toilet cleaner. I was wrestling with a friend and we fell and broke a football table. My crush walked in the room and I said with a stupid smile, "I did that, bleep." She left without a word. Wow, well done. That's very attractive. Breaking things. Look at this comment. That could be you. Broken. Yeah, even worse. While on a semi-date, I said I was Presbyterian when asked if I ate fish. He looked confused. I meant to say pescatarian. Is that a thing? I don't know. I would also look confused. You've got beautiful eyes. Thank you. I grew them myself. That's one way to take a compliment. It was this cute guy working at the bank trying to help me with my account. I heard this somewhere, and for some reason, this was the only thing I could think of because I was incredibly shy back then, especially when it came to any male attention. I still remember his face dropping. Maybe you think it's cute, just like, yeah, well done for growing them. Keep up the good work. I approached a girl sitting in a canteen, and I asked if I could join her, and after some talk, I asked her if she wants to eat anything, and she said, yes, anything of your choice. I bought her a sandwich, and as we were eating and continuing the conversation, I asked her name, and she, in a very cute voice, told me her name. So far, so good. Before I scroll down, just want to say that her and my sister's name were the same, so I told her about it, and the reply I got was out of this world. She said, "Oh, I'm also like a sister to you." That was a KO. I really wasn't expecting some just absolute friend-zoning content here, but I'm in pain, but I'm also absolutely loving it. I was laying it on to this beautiful lady at an outdoor concert, all smooth and suave, talking like I was a big shot and knew all the right people there. So I thought it would be a good idea to drop the name of this semi-famous lead singer from a local band I supposedly knew. You know, to show her I was connected and all that. But the problem was that I screwed up the name entirely. And it turns out it was a relative of hers. She started asking questions. Her eyes got wide and she started laughing so dang hard, I thought she was going to pee herself. I felt like my face was on fire. I knew I couldn't salvage the situation, so I just laughed it off too. But admitted I had no idea what I was talking about. I think that is the way to do things, by the way. If you just know you're barking down the wrong tree or you made a mistake, hold your hands up and say, "Listen, let's start again." We ended up talking for a bit and we actually had a good time. Learn my lesson though, never try to inflate your reputation with nonsense. It can backfire real freaking quick. And there we go. What a good moral to end this episode on. Guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode of r/AskReddit. It's a legendary subreddit. It is one of the most popular on the entirety of the website. And sadly, for whatever reason, I haven't really done an episode, a video on it for a long time now. I think it's because I know that you guys love the stories. However, if you do want to see more AskReddit content like this, some shorter, sharper, more cringy answers, at least today, changing things up, then yeah, let me know by commenting down below, dropping a like on this one, and staying subscribed. So I see you all tomorrow with some more Reddit content.